بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
One of the main things which actually escapes us about the Hajj is this sanctified, sacred state that a person enters into when they travel to Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says at the beginning of the verse in which this sentence is also mentioned, وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى, and take provisions, for indeed the best of provisions is taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الْحَجُّ أَشْهُرٌ مَعْلُومَاتٌ. Hajj is a time of known months, i.e. these 3 months of Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. So Al-Hajj Ashhurun Ma'lumat, Hajj is a time of known months. فَمَنْ فَرَضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجِّ. So whoever makes the Hajj obligatory in these 3 months, in these months of Hajj, فَلَا رَفَثْ, then let there be no lewdness, وَلَا فُسُوقٍ, and let there be no transgression, وَلَا جِدَالٍ, and let there be no quarreling, في الحج, in the Hajj. وَمَا تَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ يَعْلَمُهُ اللَّهُ, and whatever good you do, Allah knows it. وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى, and take provisions, for indeed the best of provisions is taqwa. وَاتَّقُونِ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ, and fear me, be conscious of me, O those who possess intelligence. The verse ends on taqwa. That's the most important thing. Take provisions of taqwa and have taqwa in relation to me. Fear me, be conscious of me, O those who possess intelligence. The beginning of the verse speaks about something which, like I said, whose reality actually may escape us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Hajj is a time of known months, so whoever makes Hajj obligatory in these months. The meaning of making Hajj obligatory in this verse is by entering into the state of ihram. By actually, you see, Hajj can become obligatory long before the months of Hajj. If someone accumulates sufficient wealth and they have the means and the resources to travel to Hajj, and the path is clear, there are no impediments, then Hajj becomes obligatory. Now that could happen at any time of the year, not just in the months of Hajj. So the meaning of فَمَنْ فَرَضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجَّ, whoever makes Hajj obligatory in these months, is the enactment and the fulfillment of that obligation of Hajj. And how does a person enact and fulfill the obligation of Hajj? The meaning of this verse specifically is a person enters into the state of ihram. Now normally when we say ihram, the common meaning of ihram is the clothing. Now of course it is correct, because of excessive usage, to call the clothing ihram, but that's not the original meaning of the word ihram, and the clothing was not actually known as ihram. Ihram is a state. Ihram is a state. And this is what I mean by the reality. This reality may escape us. Ihram is a state, a condition, a trance, a transforming into a particular state for a certain amount of time. And this state, this sacred state and condition, is actually present in Hajj, in fasting, and in Salah. And the wording is similar for all of them. When a person begins their Salah, they do so by facing the Qibla and saying Allahu Akbar. This first takbir is known as Takbiratul Ihram, Takbiratul Tahreem, or even the Tahreemah. So what does it mean? It means the takbir of consecration, the takbir of sanctification, the takbir of creating a sanctified state. What does that mean? When a person says Allahu Akbar, that is the takbiratul tahreem, takbiratul ihram. A person enters into a haram, sacred state. Now, in that sacred state, in that haram state, and haram not in this, in fact, this is where the word haram actually comes from. Haram means forbidden, but it means sacred. Because, just as we call the haram the sanctuary is known as the haram of Mecca and the haram of Medina. So this is a sanctuary because so many things are forbidden therein. So this is also a sacred state of Salah. In this sacred state, so many things which are normally halal become haram. Talking, drinking, eating, excessive action. In fact, even turning one's chest away from the Qibla violates the Salah. So a person enters into a sacred state. In that sacred state, not only should a person perform the external rituals, but there should also be an inner reality to that Salah.